Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Just as a reminder, we're also on YouTube. You can check us out on our YouTube channel, The Stephen Knight Show. Excited to have our videos. You have all of our interviews with our guests since we've been doing the videos. But you can also go to our website where we have the audio from our podcast. You can also check us out on anchor.fm with all of our podcasts up there. I think it's like, I don't even know how many, it's a lot of them, but they're all up there. Let's get into it. Nair, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. It's Monday. I just made it to the gym and made it back. So I'm feeling.
Oh, you went back to the gym?
Okay. I got back. I got back last week. So okay. I'm just a weekend back at the gym and just trying to stay cautious in there, wiping everything down before I use, after I use, But so far so good.
Yeah, I had a friend that said that he went to the gym and he was wiping it, and the people that worked there were getting offended. Why? You better glad I'm here. You're glad I'm here. But yeah,
he might need to change gyms.
Right. Exactly. Mr. Evans, how you feeling?
I'm here, sir. I'm breathing. Every day that I'm breathing is a day that's a blessing.
Most definitely. Miss Parker's not here tonight, but we have a very special guest, Mason Santiago. He has a podcast, Every Artist Podcast. Welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you guys. Glad to be here.
Tell us about your podcast before we get into hot topics.
My show basically focuses on artists that probably don't get as much attention as mainstream artists. And then we also try to provide a platform for our legends and people from the past, from the 70s, the 80s, artists that kind of don't get the same recognition as they did once in their careers. And then we also focus on the writers, the producers, the engineers, people behind the scenes. We try to give everybody a platform. That's pretty much what we focuses on.
Dope. Where can we check it out?
I'm on Blog Talk Radio, Every Artist Podcast is the handle. The shows are kind of sporadic, but mostly Saturdays and Sundays we have shows. This upcoming Friday we have Keandra Lockett from Zaire.
Okay.
We're gonna have her. And also I forgot. It's Wednesday. We also have Shantae Moore at 7 p.m.
Nice. Well, thank you for joining us today. Definitely look forward to getting your perspective on some of our topics. Our question of the day is, in your opinion, why do relationships fail? I'll start with you, Chike.
I'm so used to Ms. Parker being ahead of me.
Me too.
I have time to think about it.
It was crazy because I posted on my page and Ms. Parker didn't comment. She was trolling the comments. Go ahead.
I would probably say if I had to pick something, it would probably be lack of communication. I think great communication is the foundation for any good relationship of any kind. And when communication fails, the relationship fails.
Yeah. About you, Nair? You recently engaged. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. This is something that's very dear to me. I think I have to agree with Chike. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to agree with Chike. Communication, but a few different ways. Not just communication with the person you're considering your spouse, perhaps. Or sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Can you hear that?
Not anymore. Well, it's real low.
Okay, I'm trying to stop it. Anyhow, so not just with regard to communicating with your partner, but knowing who you are and having the things that are required to maintain a relationship within you, such as that communication with yourself. How do you communicate with yourself? How much do you trust yourself? Because a lot of times, when it comes to that communication part, if the other stuff is not set up, then the communication is going to be a disaster. For an example, if someone says, let's get a prenup for our marriage, our recognized marriage by the government, they may say, you don't trust me. And if the communication isn't right around that, it's more like, it's not that I don't trust you, but I have a lot of faith in my decision-making ability, or, whatever it is that I have in me. I got faith in that as well. So it's not about the relationship per se, but it's more about the foundation that I've built within myself, the foundation that you have within yourself, and then we can communicate around that. But I definitely agree with Chike. I definitely agree with him.
What about you, Mason?
I agree with the fellas with the lack of communication, but also different factors such as insecurities, jealousies, possessiveness, trust issues. So I think it's like different layers. It's a different situation for every individual relationship. Would cause, something different would cause the breakdown of each individual relationship to be something different. But definitely believe lack of communication, insecurities, and then trust issues. And then sometimes you lose attraction sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of different factors.
Yeah. I agree with everyone. I also think, making sure you're ready for a relationship, like making sure you've done the work for yourself so that you're good for the relationship. And also not looking for someone to complete you, but to compliment you. You know what I mean? No one should be your everything or your all, your all. They should, it's someone you obviously look forward to, you want to grow with and build with, but I don't think it should be about finding someone to complete you. But you have to be right for a relationship and find someone.
Subsequently, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Subsequently, I think if it's equally, what do they call it, equally yoked, I think if it works out that way, then that person will complete you in some ways. But looking for that, right? For example, my finances are bad, I need somebody who, that's probably not the right way to go about it. But if you're lacking something that you may not even be aware of, that person may actually be the balance if you've chosen each other with what you just had in mind. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. Well, tweet us at Stephen Knight Show SHO and let us know, in your opinion, why do relationships fail? All right, so quick coronavirus update. We have over 9 million cases worldwide, with 469,000 plus case deaths, and that's all worldwide. Domestically, we have over 2 million cases and 100,000 deaths, and that's just here. Now, a new study came out today that estimates that about 8.7 million people may have been infected in March, but 80% of them were never diagnosed. States like California, Texas, Arizona, and Florida are seeing a dramatic spike in cases, but half of the country is experiencing a rise overall. Florida is said to be the new epicenter where it used to be New York, but the governor refuses to shut down the state, and he refuses to order people to wear masks. But the city of Miami, their mayor is ordering everyone, if you're in public, you have to have on a mask. They've experienced over 100,000 deaths alone. People that are contracting the virus are mostly in their 20s and 30s, and they're testing positive, but they're less likely to die. But the problem is they're spreading to people that, are more prone to die, catch it and die. Professional athletes are testing positive, which may prolong sports. Right now, the Major League Baseball has shut down their training. So they're trying to figure out when they'll be able to come back. And lastly, D.L. Hughley, he was on stage over the weekend performing, and he passed out on stage. He was treated for exhaustion, but he ended up testing positive for COVID-19, but they said he's okay. So with all that said, where are you with it all? I know now you said you're back at the gym. Where are you all with everything in terms of how you're doing?
My first.
Go ahead, Chike. I'm sorry.
So
now you're the first person I see. That's why.
Good.
So I'm in the hospital, so I see things a little bit differently. And I too am a business owner, and I have to deal with person-to-person contact in my business.
Yeah.
I opened my doors back up in the beginning of June, and I kind of allowed it to be up to my clients to determine if they want to obtain service or not. And most of them have been willing to obtain service, and so far so good for me on the business end. As far as the hospital end, we are not like we were in the beginning of this. We're not taking the same precautions. In the hospital, it's business as usual but we do have dedicated COVID situations for surgeries. But like the barriers that used to be up are no longer up. They're not taking the same precautions coming in anymore. We're still doing the temperature checks, but instead of individuals checking your temperature, they have a camera reading temperatures as you come in. So they're getting back to full 100% capacity with the flow of all employees on deck as far as regular work, but the whole focus on COVID is not there like it once was.
Wow. Why do you think that is, especially with the numbers increasing?
I'm just going to tell you straight up, like everyone else, it's about getting back to business. It's about the flow of money, period.
Yeah, I see that. That's it. What about you, Nair?
I commented on this not long ago with someone I was in conversation with. It's strange to me. Nothing matches across the country. Nothing matches across the country and almost internationally. Beijing, China is on their second wave.
Yeah.
You know, they've cut flights. They've sent people back home from offices, from their work spots. And they're completely almost going back on lockdown or a form of it. Here in America, here in the state that I'm in, you have some businesses that say you can't come in past 10 people and you got to have a mask on and yada, yada, yada. Then you got some businesses that you can walk right in without a mask or any distancing or anything. Then you have clubs that are open. People clumped up in the club. It just doesn't match. I don't. It's very strange for me. It really is really surreal to me. Personally, I'm trying to be as cautious as I think I can be. As conscious as I think I can be. But it's really strange to me because nothing is the same across this country and even outside of it.
Yeah. What about you, Mason?
I totally agree with everything's different now. I think moving forward, I think we still have to practice safety precautions until this thing is till they figure out how to eradicate it. But I'm originally from Florida, and I get messages from my family how the cases are coming in daily and going up, and how they're kind of living in fear basically down there because most people are not taking it as seriously as they should because they look at the fact that the state has opened up the beaches, the clubs, the bars, and some people just kind of and then some of the places down there, the masks are optional. So, some people are not taking it as serious as they did when it first came out. They think it's kind of gone now, but as you see, the numbers are still steadily rising down there. So
most definitely. I know for me, I was getting frustrated when I was invited to a Juneteenth cookout on Friday, and I started to go. One, it was very far, so that's one reason why I didn't go. But I'm glad I didn't because I was reading the invitation and said, "Wear your mask if you like." And these are people I love them to death, but I haven't seen a lot of them in a minute, so I don't know what they're doing in terms of social distance and whatnot. But I saw pictures, this park included, not a mask in sight, everybody knowing each other. I'm thinking, because I went to a cookout, actually a small cookout. One of my friends threw something on the grill on Saturday. There was only 5 of us, and we social distance for the most part. You know what I mean? We did the little elbow bump, but we saw each other. And, I'm all for people. I know everyone's quarantine fatigued at this point, but I'm for people getting out and doing things as long as they're doing it safely. And when I see things like that, I'm like, that is not safe. And that's why, to me, I think it's kind of selfish because you are keeping us from getting back to normal, you know what I mean? Or a new normal, you know what I mean? So I'm learning to stop being judgmental and just mind my business and worry about me. I can only focus on me.
I throw his partner under the bus.
And
I wish he was on. I was wanting to talk to him about
it. Part of the thing for me, Stephen, in reopening my business, I am in a situation where I do massage therapy. And I control my situation from soup to nuts. So whatever has to happen from my door and to inside, I control it. I only have one person in at a time. I'm cleaning my own equipment, so I know what I'm doing as far as that is regard. And it's pretty much the same people all the time. I did open up to new clients, but it's still only one person in at a time, and I control the situation. So it's not like, you know, I have a strange environment where people are coming in.
Right.
Now, are you making your clients, you know, shower before? Because I know when I go to like when I go to a massage house, they usually give you what is called like an Asian massage house. They give you like a table bath or a shower, which is kind of like a shower. Do you do something like that before you? Because these people who are coming in, they could have been around people who, you know, are potentially
this is true. Most of my clientele, they're athletes, and they're coming. Most of them come directly from wherever they work out, and they do shower before they come see me. So I don't have facilities here for them to shower when they get here, but most of them are coming to me freshly washed.
Right. I got you.
Yeah. I think the sad part too is the politicians, they're not telling us what to do. There's no clear message. Trump doesn't wear a mask. Pence don't wear a mask. He's over the task force. They don't social distance.
Trump is basically saying that slow down the testing. The more testing that you're doing, the more that it's saying that we have more positive situations.
Right. Yeah. We're going to talk about his rally next. We'll take a quick break. Before we go, please subscribe and comment on our videos. But when we come back, we'll talk about Trump's rally over the weekend in Tulsa and the removal of these historical statues. Right back after this.